Hey everyone, it's Justin, Voices for Voices. Thank you so much for joining us on our TV show and podcast episode. Today, we have a powerful episode coming to you. Thank you for watching and listening. We're close to 100 countries, 1,000 cities across the world, besides the United States of America. So thank you for uh, making our show a show that is one that you want to see, one you want to listen to, and we appreciate that. Today is another powerful episode. Our guest Nicole, we're going to be diving into some of the I'll let her talk about the specific words, but down in Kentucky, Letcher County, that area, Appalachia, of what she has seen and witnessed, and trying to help get the get the word out even more, share, let as many people know, and hopefully be able to uh, move to the direction to get real help, unbiased help. And so we want to introduce Nicole. Thank you for joining us on the show.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Well, I will just open up the floor to you about what you want to talk about the area that you live in. You come from kind of the Midwest, and now you find yourself kind of smack dab in one of the I want to say a controversial area of the country at this time.
Well, my family has been in Kentucky for generations, but I was born in Chicago. So I migrated down to this area when I was a teenager. Um, this place is very different than anywhere else in the country. Right around the time that we relocated, you had the situation with the opioid crisis. It was when it was kicking off. And even as a young child, I was warned about pillbillies. That's what the pharmaceutical industry turned this place into. And that term is very hurtful for me to see people in my area be labeled that way. Um, and a lot of people in this area go to a doctor, whether it's for cholesterol medicine, whether it's for pain medicine, whether it's if you're in recovery for, Suboxone. There are clinics everywhere, and there's nothing here. I mean, there's absolutely nothing here. What little is in this area is very controlled. All of the money that flows into this place, the job opportunities, it is very, very controlled. And moving here was a culture shock. It was a culture shock. Um, they frown upon herbal medication and they push you to do pills because they're all getting kickbacks. They're all working with legal teams. And it's not just the doctors, the lawyers around here played a very large role in getting people addicted to drugs. And this plays out like this will all make sense by the end of how it left the community in such a vulnerable situation, and it tore down um, each and every family was affected, and the outcome of that was people being exploited, extorted, just like the survivors, Taya. um, I've seen the retaliation, and we will get there, but this is just how I seen things play out. Um, this place has a lot of really good people, A lot of really good, strong people. You couldn't ask for no better people. And they're getting taken advantage of by attorneys. And so with the coal mines, you have these inspectors who are getting paid off. These workers in the coal mine are getting injured, and who are they running to? Lawyers. Who are the inspectors friends with and later, end up playing a role in political positions? These same inspectors. So you've got people going to the doctor for that. The roads around here are very treacherous, very curvy. If you've never been to Eastern Kentucky, well, let me tell you, my boyfriend's from Texas, and we've got multiple RVs. He bought one for off-roading just for the suspension because the roads are awful here. Um, and there's a lot of hills. So you can only imagine when there's car accidents, they're pretty bad. These attorneys, from my experience, they tell you, oh, you have to go to this doctor. And they're all in bed with these doctors. They're married to these doctors and have, extended relationships with them. And like me, I was 14 years old and I got into a car accident. Someone hit us head on. And funny enough, uh, Johnson and Johnson law firm, who played a part in the Purdue Pharma settlement for OxyContin, uh, they told me, hey, you failed your last drug test. Like, I'm not taking that medication. It makes me feel awful. I'm 14 years old. 14 years old, and this attorney is looking at me saying, you have to take your medicine or we can't move forward with the lawsuit, and then you won't get your car fixed. You won't get your bills paid for. All of that will be left on you. Yeah. Yeah. At that age, they were writing benzodiazepine, opiates, headache medication, which is buprenorphine, or not buprenorphine. It's like something for headaches. Another one. There's so many, and now you have all of those people who have been taken advantage of via the coal mines. These lawyers, these doctors, ended up in addiction, and it spiraled really fast, really fast. So, like that Mary Cutter song, they just the devil wore a lab coat. We didn't think about it. You're supposed to trust your doctor. You ain't supposed to trust your lawyer, but they're liars, not lawyers, in my opinion. And I've seen when you do go to court, it's not based on actual legal representation. There's a lot of loopholes. This Commonwealth runs the court system is different from anything else that I've seen. That's for Chicago, Texas, Washington, D.C. And when they get when they get you in their system, it gets really dark. They extort people. They'll sign, like I've seen them sign bogus arrest warrants to help people out, do favors, and just as long as you know someone, you can get out of anything as long as you've got enough money and enough political sway. Um, and that's crushed this community because it's like there's a lot of good people who are facing massive injustice, and then like this behavior has went on for decades. um there's stories that come out where private bars down below stores where judges and lawyers and their kids and stuff are hanging out, where there's a man does pump and dump schemes and gets in trouble for giving minors alcohol, and a model comes forward saying they were trying to groom us. The story doesn't get told in the entirety of it because there's nobody to really do investigations to help people who come forward and say, hey, these are the people that were there. because it's a network that protects itself at the detriment of its own people. Um, they what I've noticed is if there's any help, like for ibogaine treatment, natural solutions, they've pushed back on that. Big pharma has a grip on this place, and a lot of these lawyers and judges are very well known to trade cocaine for representation, have to go to rehab in the middle of court, and your case gets pushed off, and then they end up becoming a judge. Yeah, it's stuff like that that takes place not just in Letcher County, but Eastern Kentucky as a whole. Um, the cases that I have to hear on a daily basis are absolutely heartbreaking. And I thank you for letting me just openly talk about this. Um, there's content creators in my area that I don't trust because I know how this place is. It's wallowing in poverty thanks to the coal mines. All of those jobs are gone. All of the truckers, like the population decline has been significant, not just from overdoses, which is bad, but from just people moving out of the area. I find that a lot of people deal with medical malpractice, extortion, and they get so beat down and they can't figure out why the system is screwing them over. And these same people are over our education. They're why do the jailers work hand in hand with the Department of Education? Because it's almost like a pipeline. It really is. Um, there's no with these small communities. There's no little to no oversight, um, and they've just been kind of conditioned to believe what these doctors have continued to tell them. And small businesses don't survive. Um, and then you have these men in power who are obviously grooming, and then you start getting invited, whether it's for like a modeling opportunity, or like with Taya, one of the survivors, they were like, hey, come, I'll teach you how to do a deposition, because that is a good position to have because you will earn money, and it is you don't have to worry about getting laid off there. It's very consistent. So um, you get girls who get lured, like, yeah, we'll give you a job, we'll teach you how to do a deposition, and then they end up sleeping with these attorneys, judges, and stuff, and then you know they feel used, abused, and it, there's no mental like there's they say that there's mental health help around here, but there's not. I see we're dealing with a mental health crisis, and all they're doing is pushing more prescription medication, and it's like it's not helping, it's only harming, and it makes it extremely easy to exploit the community. And anybody that really speaks out against them, you will get retaliated against. If you go out to a bar and you get roofied by someone who has political ties to the governor, you think that they're going to do an investigation? No, no. And that's pretty much the status quo for that place, where the sheriff and the judge and all of them were at having lunch before like the shooting happened. That little bar and grill is known for really bad happenings. My husband lost his freedom going over there because he got into a fight with the head of probation and parole's son. I think his uncle was also a judge, very politically connected to all of the corrupt figures who these women are saying exploited them and coerced them into sex trafficking. And I know how dangerous they are. These women do have a reason to be afraid. They stack juries. They'll let people on a jury that literally signed a petition saying keep the case here so they can have control, and then say, "Oh, I didn't know nothing about it." So I mean, the the trial being moved, and it's a good move, but I don't think that there's really going to be a fair trial. These evil people in the court system will send private investigators and confidential informants that want to get out of trouble, just like the women who were doing it for had to have sexual favors with them just in order to, not go to jail, are the same people, and they're putting those people up to harassing, stalking, drugging. I've seen it. It has happened to me just for investigating. Looking into some of these crimes, I almost lost my life. No one cared. Not one single person in my community. They tried to make it look like it was all on me. Because everybody around here has a drug problem, right? They're all just drug addicts. So they're not credible witnesses. But these people are being pushed into clinics like the rehabilitation clinics that are ran by people who used to sell large quantities of drugs, and now they've changed their lives around doing peer support specialists. But the drugs still keep flowing. Certain people are protected, and more people are being pushed into the rehabs, and they're forced to deal with these disgusting men who have control over their lives, who have been on a power trip for so long that they know that they can get away with anything. And um, with as far as Mickey Steins, I pray for his family, because even if they do get witnesses, let me tell you how it went with my husband in his case. Our witnesses ended up dead. One right after the trial, one right after he got his subpoena. The girl that they were going to testify against was connected to Harold Bowling, the one that Hillbilly Crime said is a good man. But she's married to a police officer now, KSP. Kind of makes you understand why Mickey didn't trust the Kentucky State Police, because it's a network. People go missing all the time. And, you know, they take away your kids, and they keep bringing up bogus charges just to try to keep you in their system. No, what, like, if you serve your time like Taya did,
Mhm.
and then you get out and you have to be on probation until 2099, and then pay child support on a kid that's 20 some years old.
Mhm.
There's my baby right there.
Yeah.
So, and I've watched this happen. I found out about the whole situation in Letcher County because it happened to my neighbor. It
Mhm.
happened to my neighbor, and I remember everyone was talking about how this young girl was sleeping with one of the deputies, and they were upset with her. I was like, "Excuse me, you
Mhm.
weak-hearted MFers are mad at this young woman when this guy is holding freedom over top of her head, her kids, and you all don't have enough cojones to stand up and do the right thing." And I started speaking out. I got into it with Kentucky State Troopers, asked them about the sex trafficking. I asked them about the missing people. They told me they knew about it, gaslighted me. And, I faced retaliation. I had people down at the bottom of my hill
Mhm.
trying to keep me silent. 2 wellness checks to say that I wanted to hurt myself and others. And that was just for speaking out, because I had been investigating what happened and what was going on in Letcher County about a year before the sheriff ever shot the judge. There was a lot of really dirty dealings. And, you know, the community needs to stand up and demand. demand some answers. You're not gonna. Everybody's gonna have their own opinion, and just because something sounds crazy, don't assume that that person who might be on drugs, because a lot of them are still being forced to take Suboxone medication to be in programs in order to graduate and get out of the system. Like, they're seeing a lot of strange things happening in the rehabs with drug court. And I mean, everyone's life matters. No one is better than anyone. And I think that a lot has been brought to the surface, but a lot of people are missing, are not getting the whole picture. And it's because people are trying to establish narratives and, allegiances, I guess, like siding with Mickey, siding with the judge, siding with this person. And Mickey was actually there when the night when my husband went to jail at that bar that they all hung out. He threw away evidence of the other party so they didn't get in trouble. But I don't hold that against him because I've heard nothing but good things from the people that I know. And I know that a lot of people are like, he was paranoid. He was in psychosis. They tried to say that to me when they were, sending wellness checks, trying to intimidate me, so on and so forth. I've got video footage of someone at the bottom of my hill who made my car alarm go off. You think that those political figures don't have enough ties to get a key fob? Have someone scan your VIN number? It's like a Stasi style operation that takes place, and they're like, "Oh, you're just crazy." No, I heard Mickey said that he felt like somebody was down the street. Now, when they want their secrets kept, my first initial was, "Oh no." When the sheriff shot the judge, they they turned on him like they've been doing everyone else. The truth's finally going to come out. Uh, and I really hope and pray that the truth does come out. Uh,
Yeah, yeah, it's really disheartening to hear about these situations because, like you said, to some people, they go, "Oh, well, this is wild, this is conspiracy." But when it's actually happening and when you've experienced it yourself and you have somebody down at the bottom of the hill that is setting your car alarm off, not to mention following you where you go, where Ty goes. It's got to be. I can't even imagine the emotional added stress that you have to make sure that I know you're driving 100% correct, like every little thing, because
yeah.
somebody can pull you over and
Oh,
then
as soon as I flew back from Texas, there was a from Floyd County to Pike. I got pulled over and I got a ticket. I already paid it. I'm not gonna, not pay a ticket, but it's just like, if you think that in today's day and age that they can't track you by your phone, that they can't hack your stuff. I've had evidence in files, and those files completely go missing. Um, the fact, with the key fob, them they can put stuff in your car. They can, Ty and them woke up to sliced tires. I think that if I didn't spend so much time at Camp Lejeune with my ex fiance, like, I probably wouldn't be as prepared. But I mean, you start coming around my house. This is Kentucky. There's probably going to be some booby traps. There's probably going to, we got guns around here, big ones. Uh, but it's like, you shouldn't even have to do that. Police won't do anything. I've called the police. They don't respond to help. They're only there to make things worse. I haven't seen them solve a missing persons case or a murder case or anything. You can give them information, they won't do it. I would like a thorough investigation to know what in the hell is going on. I've myself went to the attorney general and begged for someone. They saw the Commonwealth attorneys handling it. Commonwealth attorney is Judge Kevin Mullins' brother-in-law. What do you mean? Like they're not going to cover for their own. Like, do you really? It's impossible. It is impossible to get anything done. I feel so sorry for the women who are terrified to come forward. They're terrified. I don't blame them. But nobody should have to, you know, take a mirror underneath their car to make sure that there's not an air tag following you. So, but, you know, just know that if we do go down, we tried our best.
Yeah.
We tried our best to get it out. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if something happened, because with the one young lady, Jennifer Hill, she, they say that she overdosed, and then Ben Fields, you know, charges got dropped. So
Yeah.
I know how they do. When you've got people who are on drugs, it's not hard to send somebody there to give them a hot shot. And that's an increasingly, it scares me, because I'm hearing stories from people saying that some of these confidential informants are giving people bad drugs on purpose. They're allowed to get away with it. Kentucky State Police and the DOT already said last year, we're, if somebody had history with drug abuse, we're not going to investigate. Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah, I it just blows me away. Who do you think, uh, I'll say like in a utopian world, uh, the the feds, like, do you trust them? What would it be, to come in, especially if you have the governor that's involved as well, that you kind of have to
no,
keep going.
I don't trust the feds. I don't trust the attorney general. Um, I've been put on the quiet skies list. My boyfriend was at January 6th. He wasn't a part of any violence or nothing.
Yeah.
He was standing on the grass. There were kids holding, America flags, people just cracking jokes, letting the ambulance and cops go by. But
Hmm.
we were always afraid that they were going to pick him up. And if we went to like the court hearings with our friends who got nabbed, um, when you come into contact with those people, the feds do. They'll 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 target you. I got put on quiet skies. I was like followed through the airport. Yes,
Mm.
we have a problem. We the federal government, in the Fed, just in the federal government, period. They're not doing anything for us. I don't think. Um, the more I research, the more like I don't trust the FBI,
Hmm.
especially the one that's in Kentucky that has an InfoGuard center. Those InfoGuard centers are used for counterterrorism, and they're not really helping with our counterterrorism. They just opened up the border and let a bunch of people who are unvetted right on in. So,
Exactly.
and they put me on a list. Like I'm on a federal list. I mean, I haven't
What's
seen the quiet skies little symbol in a minute
hmm
since Trump was in office, but
what's that mean? What's a quiet squad? I've not.
it's like you get flagged, like you could be a suspected terrorist.
Oh,
You get followed by TSA.
oh man. Yeah, that's not okay. I'm glad that you're being brave and strong and standing up and sharing your story, because uh things haven't been done the correct way. They aren't being done. And the only way to hopefully get things going in the right direction is to put pressure on with stories. And truths and uh, what's actually occurring. And then, like you said, you can only do so much. So uh, that it's just got to be uh, how's your mental health of going through all the different things yourselves, and then when you're helping others, and how are you doing?
Like I've dealt with so much disappointment that
Mhm.
I don't really get my hopes up, and I don't really get down and out. I notice I think my mental health is much better than most people because
Mhm.
your mood and your mental health has a lot to do with your gut biome. And
Mhm.
I don't eat. I don't shop around here. I don't shop at Food City or Walmart or any of that stuff. Um, I go to homesteads and get all natural products. I travel a lot, so I'm eating all natural food, and that right there makes such a big difference. Um, I, I I enjoy shooting guns.
Mhm.
That takes off a lot of stress. I like to hula hoop. I like to garden. I just stay away from the devices as much as possible. But it's really hard to hear a lot of stories about injustice and how people were hurt, and I'm not okay. Like, but
Mhm.
you know, there's it's almost like I've been traumatized by being followed and all of that stuff. I'm just in fight mode. Like at this
Mhm.
point, like I don't let it get to me.
That's good. That, yeah, like my mental health, kind of the same thing. Kind of feel like in that mode all the time, and uh, you it. I'm saying it's a price you have to pay, uh, but it's
Well,
something that
I mean, it's
yeah,
like once your eyes are open, you can't look away.
yeah,
Once you know the truth and your eyes are open, it's just like this should be, you know, something simple, something that should be fixed, you know, no problem. And I think that something that the community can do, find someone to run for office. There are a bunch of people who just announced their candidacy. Don't let the same nepotism
mm,
control you and control this system. Get people who are, you know, like me. I know one candidate who's running for Senator Mitch McConnell's seat. He dealt
hmm
with like the quiet skies, and he had health issues and couldn't wear like the mask. He was a veteran, um, and he just kind of like stood up during COVID, and that's how he got activated into politics. And I'm starting to see more people in the community want to step up, but we just need to elect better people, and we need to be more involved. Don't be so dismissive. But I think it's really hard because people around here they're just struggling to pay their bills. They're not really paying
hmm
attention to what's going on. They barely have time to do anything because the constant raise or rise in like our water rates, and that's connected to our political figures. And you know,
hmm
in Letcher County, like Angie Hatton, she's connected to the to AEP, and I mean, somebody should really
mm,
check into like the campaign financing and how she's on that board and stuff. You know, people need to look into stuff like that and say, hey, you're screwing us over on our power rate, and you're kind of getting money from these companies to screw us over, but they're putting this person out as the person that's supposed to help and fix it. Like, I think independent journalism is
hmm
is on the rise, and more people are, you know, working remotely, so
yeah,
they don't have to stay in one place, or you know, like their jobs can't be held over their head. I worked at a company, they didn't like my political views, so they messaged my boss trying to get me fired.
mm.
Yeah, that's happened a couple of times actually.
Do you see yourself wanting to run for office someday, or uh,
I've been asked to run for office, a couple of different positions. But I
mm,
would never, I would never want to. Not here in Kentucky. I love this place, but I'm moving to Texas with my boyfriend, starting a ministry and going to
mm.
do good. You know, what they use for bad, I'm going to try to use for good. But
Good.
you know, unless some people wake up and start demanding accountability, this place is going to get worse. It already is getting worse. Um, if people don't wake up and demand accountability or change, it's going to end up like California,
Hmm.
Arizona, and some of these other states that, like New York, some of these other places that have fallen. If you're going to lose more parents are going to lose their children. There's, you know, a really bad problem with CPS. They've got
Hmm.
signs all over the place. Do you want to adopt? Like adopting kids out won't give family members money to help take care of children whose parents are addicted to drugs or in these programs, but they'll pay foster parents. So it's almost like this system is it needs to be completely torn down and redone. You need to just clean every single member in Congress out, except for a few. Just clean all of these courthouses out. I mean, if they want us to have master, but we need surveillance on them. We need to know every aspect about them, um, because a lot of them are involved in crimes. And Kentucky is the worst for it. I don't see the kind, like, there's corruption and then there's Kentucky corruption, and they are
Mm,
not the same.
mm.
It's like living in a communist country.
Yeah, that's
It is.
exactly what it is.
And it's like they've got everyone medicated and just asleep, so they're not able to do anything, and it's just a sad situation. Purdue Pharmaceutical destroyed this place, and I don't see any of that money going towards rebuilding back anyone's life. And a lot of
That's what I
people,
was, that's
and
what I was
every
wondering if
yeah,
yeah.
everyone, whether it was you, your brother, your mother, like everyone has someone who has struggled with addiction in this area because of the medical malpractice. That yeah,
Uh, why,
it's like
why,
it's like the ghetto.
yeah, it sure is. It across the board. Yeah, it's incredible from the medical to the legal to the counselors and everybody's it's like that web of wherever you go. It's like you you can't get away from it, even though when you're doing the right thing, trying to do the right thing, it's kind of like, wait a minute, like, is there something wrong with me? Like, everybody is doing the opposite.
Yeah, you do. I've done that. Like, I feel like I almost had a mental breakdown trying to, because once this stuff started happening with the sex trafficking and
Mhm,
people were going missing, the police weren't doing anything. I mapped it out and started to connect people, and then it
mhm,
started to connect to different institutions, um, and then politicians, and you know that's the whole reason I got politically active, was
mhm,
because I just wanted to see change. I was like, the same corrupt methods aren't helping. We just lost like 20,000 of our population because people are moving away. And then the
mhm,
rest of us are dealing with a two-tier weaponized justice system. And here I am seeing, you know, in my county, there was an attorney, like he might have been the Commonwealth attorney, Donald Deskins, literally murdered his wife. And I had to
mhm.
see him waving around at Food City like some politician. And this man just murdered his wife. And then like his
Well,
brother-in-law, like same family that's like married in Howard Keith Hall, just got found not guilty of mail fraud. You know, having his nephew and other people on the payroll and using money for political campaigns funding, and it's just like, oh no, they didn't do anything, and people are cheering for it, and I'm like, So they're allowed to murder their wives. They're allowed to commit mail fraud, screw over the taxpayers, write bogus warrants, and ruin people's lives, take their kids away, play favoritism. And that, it left such an imbalance that you've got a lot of good people who are getting their kids stolen from them. People use kids as chess pieces around here. And I completely understand why Taya is terrified. Like when they try to get their hooks into your kids, you know, the kids don't know what they're getting themselves into, because the people who are in our institutions that we're supposed to trust, our kids believe them more than they believe us. You know,
Right.
sometimes, and then the cycle of abuse continues. So,
Man. So what would be I know we talked about a lot of topics. What would be some of the kind of key takeaways that you would want somebody if they just tune in at the end, or uh, if they, yeah, if they tune in at the end and want to have a little bit of a summary, uh, can you just go over a couple bullet points that encompass what we've talked about?
So, because Hal Rogers is the worst congressman Kentucky has ever had, and I mean, he's worse than Mitch McConnell, that's saying a lot.
Oh
His
yeah.
district is wallowing in poverty while they hand their nonprofit institutions hand over fist, has caused the population to waller in poverty for so long that those that have political connections have used their web to intimidate, silence, commit medical malpractice, insurance fraud. They've stolen land, property. The list goes on and on. And it's such a dark web. So many people are involved that anyone who tries to do the right thing, um, they face backlash, stalking, harassment, lawsuits. Um, they will set you up. They will murder you. They will murder your friends, your family. If they can't get to you, they will harm someone next to you. The situation in Letcher County where the sheriff shot the judge, we were hoping the truth would come out. And they're doing a good job at burying it. People have to look when they're like, "Where's the evidence?" Well, let me just tell you. There was one content creator who believed crimes. Right next to the judge's house, there was a trailer that was on fire. You think they weren't burning evidence? I went over there and caught video footage of them having a camouflaged helicopter going up into haulers, getting out evidence. They let them get the evidence out, and they're trying to frame the sheriff. This is just my opinion, and what they've been doing to people like Taya and so many others. They tried to do it to the sheriff because of that civil lawsuit where the women came forward against Deputy Ben Fields, and a lot of people lost their lives. Ben Fields had, or not Ben Fields, but Mickey Steins had every right to fear for his wife and daughter's safety. And as she's saying, you have people that try to infiltrate their circles and manipulate the narrative. It's very complicated, but I've heard nothing but good things about Sheriff Steins. I think he's raised a wonderful daughter. I hope to see him come out on top of this situation, because if it wasn't for him, a lot of what I'm saying I wouldn't be able to say. Um, a lot of people are being retaliated against. We've got one detective in here that's actually looking at things. We've begged the attorney general. We've went to every single place that could possibly help us. We don't trust the sheriff's department. We don't trust city police, and we don't trust Kentucky State Troopers. You know, we don't. I've seen them harass young teenagers and literally pit them and them die right there on the side of the road. We don't trust Kentucky State Troopers. Troopers like that become detectives, and those detectives come out for people like me, Taya, and anybody who speaks out. See what I'm saying? So, Godspeed to the sheriff. I hope that more people see that the victims are struggling with and dealing with retaliation. So were those of us who were speaking out. Um, but I appreciate everybody that's taken the time to listen to this story. And that's really like all how I can just sum
Mhm.
it up, because it I could talk about it. I've done years and years worth of research, so don't really want to say too much, because
Mhm.
you don't want to throw out names out there, get certain people involved or
Yeah.
retaliated against, and just pray for the victims. This is coercion. It is sex trafficking. These men are in the wrong. We're sick and tired of these dirty perverts getting away with everything, and hopefully the truth comes out. And the reason that
Awesome.
it's capable is because this district is wallowing in poverty. When you don't have good people in office, your town will go to hell in a handbasket.
Yeah. Well, thank you for being, again, so brave to step out and share. It's important to get the word out to as many people that uh, hopefully some honest people come in and help clean up the area. But it is, when you have people, you said, making copies of the key fob and doing things, it's like, do I feel safe where I'm even at right now? Like what's going on?
Yeah.
Uh, and yeah, we
I mean,
uh,
when you just go poking around looking for answers and reaching out for help, and the police are following you through multiple counties, trying to intimidate you, just hoping to pull you over, that says a lot about this entire situation and why nobody is coming forward. They're being intimidated, and it's coming from law enforcement. There really
mhm,
does need to be like an internal investigation, most definitely.
absolutely. And we reach out to how do you say her name? Lila,
La-
Mickey's.
Lila Steins.
Yeah, yeah. We uh we reach out to her. I know she's got a lot of things going on, and we're hoping to have her on to be able to share her story to again just get that awareness out, let people know. Uh, 'Cause there's two sides every story, and all those sides that unfortunately are happening are bad, and so we need to get more people like you and Taya and Brandy and individuals that uh, have been involved that have had specific examples of what's occurred because it's one thing to just say, oh, I don't like this and I don't like that. But when you have specific examples, it's hard to argue. People can say it's conspiracy theory, but you know deep down when something happens to you, what's actually occurred.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well,
and
as so far everything that I suspected when this shooting first happened, I was accurate about everything. Even though there were people who were trying to change the narrative. I mean, those of us who have dealt with the retaliation, we know. We know. So I'm looking forward. I hope to hear from Lila Steins, see kind
yeah,
of what was going on. I pray for everyone that was involved, even Judge Kevin Mullins' family.
yeah,
This is just a very tragic situation that I hope people can learn from, and make the community safer,
yes,
so nobody
yeah,
has to deal with this. But I mean, I'm Team Mickey Steins.
yeah. And we're definitely gonna have some follow-up shows. This is just the first of many that we're having with Nicole for our viewers and listeners. We're grateful to be able to have her on and share the awful events and experiences that she's had to go through and still go through. So if anybody is out that is able to help in a authority position that really wants to turn things around and help, there are people like Nicole and Lila and Taya that well, just want things to be run in a fair way, that there's
An
uh,
unbiased manner, what our
unbiased. Yeah,
constitutional rights are awarded to us. Our constitutional rights have been stripped away, basically, with this system. So I
sure has.
just hope for the best.
Yeah. Well,
Thank
thank
you.
you, Nicole. We'll see you. We'll be in touch, obviously. We're gonna try to get this out ASAP.
Okay.
We'll get you the links, and then we'll do social posts. And I hope you have a good rest of your day, and the family's healthy.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
You bet. Take care.
All right. Bye.